everyone. Welcome back to Open. I'm Rhina Valentin, your host Café con Leche. We're always inviting you to get social with us online, that is. Tweet us and follow us on Instagram at BronxNet TV or like us on Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. And of course, while you're there, don't forget, follow moi on Twitter, Instagram, FB, and LinkedIn at Rhina Valentin. So, Pencils of Promise is a nonprofit organization providing quality education for children across the world by building schools and creating educational programs there. Their goal is to provide a future where all children can succeed. And joining us to tell us more about the organization, we welcome Pencils of Promise CEO, Bronx born and bred, Tanya Ramos.
Such a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for coming back home.
Yes, nice to be
back. Passing it forward to our viewers because your story is quite the inspiration.
Thank you, thank you.
And I'm looking forward to learning more. So, to date, you have already built over 500 schools.
518 to be exact.
To be exact.
Over the last almost 12 years now.
12 years. Okay, let's look at that. 12 years, over 500 schools.
That's exactly right. Serving 100,000 students around the globe in Ghana, in Laos, and in Guatemala.
Okay, so why did you choose these particular destinations?
Our founder, Adam Braun, he traveled the world and he identified, and we know that there are a number of countries that could certainly use support. He identified these three areas as places he wanted to build schools in and help students thrive and have access to a quality education.
And so how did you become involved and what I guess drew you to this mission? Because this is like a serious mission. It's a lovely one, I might add.
I have to say that making sure that kids that look like you and I have access to a quality education is part of my DNA. As you mentioned, I'm a Bronx native. Grew up in the city to two hardworking parents who struggled to make ends meet, and education was the lever. Right? It enabled me to pull myself out of poverty. And I see myself in all the kids that we serve. And when I had an opportunity to serve as the first Latina CEO at Pencils of Promise, and I had a chance to travel and see the impact that we're making firsthand, I knew that this is where I belonged.
That's lovely, and congratulations on that.
Thank
And it's something to be a CEO and then for an organization, and then there's that other aspect of living purposefully, right?
Correct.
And you're kind of combining the two. Yeah. And that, I can only imagine, must be so fulfilling to you.
It's so rewarding, and I oftentimes tell people I feel blessed. I don't know that I even dreamt the life that I lead today, and education is a part of that. Having great mentors along the way that really saw my promise and invested in me makes a world of difference. And I was just sharing recently, I remember our trip to Ghana and speaking with students and speaking with parents. I'm a fellow parent, mother of two kids under 10. And it doesn't matter where you stand in the world, you just want your kids to have a better opportunity than you yourself have had. And I've really worked hard to get there, and I'm just so thankful that I can make an impact every day.
That's lovely. And so what are some of the ways that you're able to monitor the development that the Pencils of Promise is having on these schools?
Sure. I'm happy to say that our organization is very data-driven. So I often will say we tell stories with numbers. We make sure that we have programming that we are able to test on metrics. We have a teacher support program, and we're able to really monitor their success with their students. We have EGRA testing, which is early grade assessment testing, so that we're able to ensure that our kids are leaving our schools literate, which is really the game changer. For many of the kids that we serve, their parents haven't gone to school. They themselves are illiterate. So for us, that lever that I mentioned that really pulls you out of poverty and changes your entire life trajectory is being able to read and write, because there's 250 million kids around the world that are unable to read and write, and I want to see that change in my lifetime.
That's lovely, and it's lovely that you've taken that on as your contribution to existence, right?
Agreed.
Within humanity, and so that which leads me to the individuals within the communities, right? Okay. Because I understand that you also hire locally, right? So even though you're monitoring, through the electronics, right, and through technology, you're hiring locally. So you're elevating the community as a whole, not just the children. Of course, they are the most important because they're the next generation.
Of course.
And that's what you're trying to transform. However, so how do you go about doing that? I mean, 500 schools, over 500, you said 513?
18.
18. Oh, sorry.
No worries.
That 5.
Don't cut off my 5.
518. That's right. 518. That's a lot to monitor. So just walk us through the layers of how this whole process occurs.
I mean, I will tell you that I think this really speaks to our sustainability model. I think there are various nonprofits and organizations and even individuals with the best intentions, but the reason that we have had this level of success, the fact that we have 500 plus schools around the globe over more than a decade, has been because we partner extensively with the Ministry of Education in all of the countries that we operate, and that's our secret sauce. Then we ensure
it ain't secret anymore.
Then we ensure that we get buy-in. We never want to build in an area where they don't want us, right? So it is important that the community is bought in. So we meet with local community leaders. The Ministry of Education is supporting us. And then to your point, we hire from within the countries that we operate, and that makes all the difference. I know it meant so much growing up when I had teachers that looked like me and could support my growth and unlock my potential, and that's what we do when we hire from within.
Well,
it makes
there's
all the
also
difference.
the cultural significance.
Oh, absolutely,
as well, right?
absolutely.
Because they're going to be able to relate to somebody who speaks their language,
Of
not
course.
just in the language form, right?
Agreed.
Just in their way of being. And so, before we go, I want you to just pick randomly which is the greatest success story that stands out for you since you've been the CEO of Pencils of Promise.
God, there's so many. But one that I will share, which just I find really inspiring, POP, as we like to call ourselves, was really developed by empowering young folks to donate something as small as $25 to get us started. And we recently had a young gentleman from Omaha University, Omaha POP, one of our POP builds, one of our POP clubs, and he was raising money to build his first school in Laos. And he went on American Ninja Warrior, and he had a number of his friends and peers rooting him on, and it just was a reminder that any one of us can find ways to be philanthropic, and it makes an impact across the world. So I encourage all of your listeners to go onto our website, think about how they want to build their own legacy and how they want to make an impact around the world. And I think Pencils of Promise is a great opportunity to do just that.
Wow, thank you.
Thank you.
Tanya.
Such a pleasure.
Likewise. Thank you for bringing it home, and thank you for just basically inspiring us all to just be part of the change, right?
We all are agents of change.
We are agents of change, and well, you're certainly one. And thank you for bringing it here to our viewers. And you guys, once again, this is where she's from. These are her origins.
That's right.
And she's out there transforming the next generation of the world. And if you want to be a part of that change, you can donate you can help donate and change the life of a child by giving them an educational opportunity, which is what we're referring to. And you can visit pencilsofpromise.org. I don't know if you were listening, but there's also the possibility of you being part of your own school development. And I think that's quite inspirational. So make sure you visit pencilsofpromise.org.